I know people have places to be and things to do, so we'll get started. So I just wanted to start off by just kind of doing a recap of kind of what we've been working on, just in case people are just catching up now, and just because, I mean, some people are just taking part now. We started off with doing the 6 group shows, so the 6 group presentations, getting those booked and getting activity on your books. So it was 10 activities in total since the last call that should be on your books. These are income producing activities. These are one-on-ones, coffee dates, feedback calls, which are information calls, group shows, pamper drop-offs, whatever you want to call them. It's basically just getting in front of people, sharing the incredible products, and sharing the incredible opportunity with them. So it's basically just getting in front of your 40 faces. We also went over the 3 asks a day with a power partner. So if you don't have a power partner yet, please contact me and let me know you don't have one, because you should have one that you should be connecting with. So it's the 3 asks a day, and you should be, you know, going back and forth and saying, I did this, I asked this person. And I mean, yes, we're going to get no's, and that's totally okay. That does happen. I also gave you the book On Fire. So if you haven't read it, you can download it and listen to it as well. Probably my favorite book I have ever read. So it's a good read. So that should be also something else you're working on. So that's kind of all that, and I gave you the why. So if you haven't recorded your why, you haven't written it out, and you haven't recorded it and sent it to your regional vice president, you need to do that as well, because that is the key to this business, is having a powerful why. It's a why that will make you work. So think of all your fears. If you keep doing what you're doing, what will it look like? What would it look like if you had $5,000 a month? What would you do with it? Include that in your why story. You know, you're declaring where you're heading with this business. It's so, so, so important to have your why story written out, because when you go to your presentations, your parties, whatever you call them, you want to read it off of your piece of paper, because you're going to get intimidated and you're going to leave stuff out, because you're going to be like, oh no, that person isn't interested in the business, or this person came in and she seems scary, or whatever it is. But you want to make sure you have it written out, and you want to make sure you don't miss anything and you read it. You're going to get so good at it, you're just going to be holding that paper, and you probably won't even barely need it anymore. So I have asked Jean Ann and Holly to share their whys. I had listened to their whys, and I thought they were really powerful. So I was just going to give you an example of, you know, a powerful why story. So I'll let Jean Ann, she's an area manager, and she's in Ontario. So she's one of my really, really good friends, and we have lots of fun together. And so I'm going to let her share her why story, just so you guys, you know, you have an idea, if you haven't done it, kind of you know, it doesn't have to be the same. Obviously, it's going to be your reason why, but I'll let Jean Ann just take it away and share.
Thank you. So I actually have a really interesting story. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I actually have an interesting story, but I'll tell it after I read this. So I have been with Armand for 5.5 years, and just so you guys all know, I've never, ever, ever gone through this exercise, and I'm going to tell you a story about it at the end, because this has been an amazing thing for me. So my name is Jean Ann Kenning, and I'm from Coldwater, Ontario. I'm a wife and mother to 2 boys, Riley, age 6, and Joseph, age 16. For 15 years, I was a wedding and event planner with Delta Hotels all across Ontario. Shortly after my youngest son was born, I was introduced to Armand via an old friend. She shared with me the RE9 collection. As someone who constantly had breakouts and generally just tired-looking skin, I was completely amazed. I literally couldn't wait to get the whole set. I signed up purely for a discount with no desire to look at the business. I was one of those people that didn't feel that this type of business was a legitimate form of income. When my youngest son was about 10 months old, he was diagnosed with a severe seizure condition named hydrocephalitis, which is fluid on the brain. I was quickly presented with an immense fear that I would leave him at daycare one day, drive an hour and a half to work, and something bad would happen to him. He would have a seizure or end up in an ambulance, and I would not be there. Through the following 2 years, I struggled immensely about going back to work and trying to find a way to make some money and try to rebuild him back to regular health. But I'm happy to report that he is almost 100% right now. After all those years of being home with him, I quickly realized how much time freedom meant to my family. I loved owning my own time, being home when kids were sick, always being there for the bus, every teacher meeting, football game. I didn't want to miss a thing. The turning point in my business was the self-awareness that has come in the last year. In December of 2015, I was fortunate enough to travel to Guatemala with 30 amazing Arbonne women, quickly realizing that my true passion has always been to serve others. I've been gifted with this business that allows me time, freedom to travel there and serve others. After discovering my true passion, I've taken great pride in exploring this with others on my team. I foresee many years of serving in this business, whether it be to team members or traveling to Guatemala 3 times a year. In the meantime, I get to own every single moment of my time. So I have never written that out, nor have I ever followed it. And I went to a party on Thursday and I read it word for word. And I have a girl who's always wanted to do mission trips and serve that's looking at the business now. And I've never ever shared like that kind of extent to it. So it was cool. It was nice to see that how well it worked.
That's awesome. Thank you. I love you. And I loved your story. And I thought, it speaks out to people, the time freedom, whatever it is your reason. And it's really important, like Jean-Anne said, to go through the exercise and actually do it, because it makes a really big difference when you actually do the exercise and you see, you go through each thing to figure out what your why is. You write it down, you record it, and then you use that when you're speaking with people, at your speaker presentations, your one-on-ones, or whatever it is, you're explaining, you're just sharing with people, why you're doing this business.
And I also like to just quickly just share that it also gives people reason to stay in touch with their discount nappers, so to speak, because I was a discount napper for 3 years before I did anything. So I like to really tell that, because people think that those people that sign up for discounts may not transpire, but they do. Case in point. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to continue on with, so you should have your 10 activities on the books. And I mean, if you don't, we have call nights. We had one last night again. And, if you're not taking part in the call nights and your calendar isn't full, I mean, we have a lot of fun. Just join in. I mean, yeah, you get some no's and some funny things that happen. And it's just kind of fun to have a support group and to be able to share. And, I really enjoyed them, and it's held me very accountable. Like I said before, I've never had this much activity on my books, but it holds me accountable to do them weekly and to keep my calendar full, because there's going to be cancellations, right? Of course, I had a few people that rescheduled into November and different things happen, but if I'm constantly doing call nights, I can fill those days, right? So for this next week, we're going to have you declare your goals. So I want you to clarify, write, and devise a plan for your goals. So if you're a district manager and a team of 1, you need to hit district manager bonus at a minimum this month of 5,000 QV and 5 new signups. If you have some team, of course, first step area manager is 10,000. Your area managers talk with your regional vice president and come up with a goal. And if you're hitting your maintenance last month at a minimum, I want you hitting 15,000 this month. So if you did 10,000 last month, do 15,000 this month. If not, 20,000 for your bonus. So just kind of stretch a little bit. So writing down your goals is so, so important. I know we don't do this. And, it's something I stopped doing as a national vice president, because I thought, write down my goals. I just kind of quit doing it, because, you have a really large team and things are going really good. But I actually had a call with Becky Young, and she said, no, you need to write down your goals as well. Find out what your regions plan on doing, your areas. Then you know where you're at so that you can write out your goal. And you need to know where you're going, because and if you write it down, I think they say it's 75% more, it's going to happen. More chances that it's going to happen if you don't write it down and you just have it in your head. So post your goals in 3 visible places. Review and rewrite them every day. So if your goal this month is to get into qualifications for area manager, you need to write down my goal is to get into qualifications for area manager, minimum of 10,000, your good, great, and awesome goals. So 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. And then at least when you reach one of them, you're happy and you continue on. And I've had to rewrite my goals lots. So if you don't reach it, don't get discouraged. That's okay. You just rewrite them all the time and you go for it again. If you do not have people starting with you in October, I'm going to ask you to do 10 asks for the business. So with your 3 asks a day, 5 days a week, this is something that should be happening. So you're asking for the information calls, for the feedback calls. If you don't know what those are, ask your regional vice president or ask your area manager, then most likely will know. So all you're doing is you're finding the need, So you're searching for the need in people at your skincare presentations or in your everyday life. You know, if you go out to eat, wherever you are, you're just trying to find a need in people. You're complimenting them. You're finding those needs. And so you want to do that 10 asks for the business. So that's kind of part of your, I'm going to send this all out to you in an email. So you're not, you know, you don't have to write this all down. I'll send it all out. And I want you to watch the attached sponsored video. I'm going to send it out to you. It's a really, really incredible video. Deanna Herron does it with Debbie Miller. It's amazing. She has some really great tips on there. And then if you are done the book On Fire, I want you to listen or read the book. It's called Grit by Angela Duckworth. Because some people have read On Fire already, and if you can get that done within 2 weeks, because we want to be doing our personal growth on a daily basis. This is part of what we do. Having a full calendar, sponsoring, and working on our mind. That's what we do in this business. 3 things. That's it. So 20 minutes a day of reading. There's not a day I don't think that I don't read. I always read, and I always write in my gratitude journal. You also want to figure out your formula, and what I mean by that is you want to know where you're at. So you would take last month's volume, and then you kind of take your goal. So if your goal is 10,000 this month, you take last month's volume, your goal being 10,000 this month, then you see where you're at. Then you can also take a look and see, well, how many more business builders do I need? So you divide that by 2,500, because that's generally what a new business builder will put in or will do. And then you know how many more business builders you need and where you need to grow by. You also can figure out how many more skincare presentations you need. If they're at an average of 500 QV, you just divide. It's the same thing, right? You just take a look at that, how many more you need. I'll send this out, the formula, so that you kind of know where you're headed and what you need. If you don't know these numbers, then you don't know how much more you need to grow your business. You don't know, how many more business builders you need, how much more volume you need, how many more parties you need, that sort of stuff. And I'm going to send out the monthly goal sheet for you to fill out. It's really important that you write down your goals. It should be done every single month on the 1st. There's no question about it. I even have, like I said, I've restarted doing mine again, knowing where I'm at and what I want to do, because it's really, really important. We need to know where we're headed. So that's kind of what I'm going to sort of leave you with. I think now Holly's on the call. I did see Holly. Where'd she go? I thought, oh, there she is. Okay. I did see Holly on the call. I'm actually going to have Holly also share with us her why story. I thought it was a really powerful why story. And I thought, it's really good for people to be able to share, because everybody has a different story. So Holly, if you're there, I'll allow you to go ahead and take it away. Are you on here? How do I unmute you? Where are you?
I should be on here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just out at the stable right now, so I have really bad internet. So if I get cut off, I'm really nervous about this, and I shouldn't be. But so this is my why, or what I've been working on the last few days. So my why for doing this business is that I have a dream to own my own rescue facility one day, where I can wake up every day and rehabilitate neglected animals and give them a second chance to a good life. I want a life to be able to never struggle again. I watched my parents both work dangerous and time-consuming jobs just to support us and never have any time for themselves, to work on themselves, or to give us the life I think that they really wanted us to have. Even now, in their 50s, my dad is still currently working 2 jobs to try and support just my mom and him, and just to give themselves a comfortable life. In my own life, in my own adult life, I have struggled from having to choose which bills to pay, or going to the grocery store and adding up everything in your cart only to get to the till and not even have enough for half of it. Have worked several jobs that were really hard on me or bad for my health, just taking up all my time, never being able to commit to anything. And I want to be able to live comfortably and just happy. And I want to be able to give back to the world. So Arbonne has changed my life already. It has made me become a stronger person and a more honest person. I think the me that was always inside just needed the right opportunity to come out. I'm able to now talk in front of people without doubting myself, well, most of the time. And I'm able to set out goals like traveling. And this summer I went to New Zealand, Vancouver, and Niagara Falls, and I accomplished all of that. and set out to pursue my business and grow my life experience. I was also able to give back to my community this summer, and I held a fundraiser for Heaven Can Wait, which is a small rescue facility just outside of High River. And I was able to do all of this within my first 7 months of this business. And so I just started my business in March, and if I can do this much in just 7 months, I know that this is just the beginning for me. So I know that Arbonne can give me the dreams and the goals that I have for myself and for my family. I want to be able to truly have a rescue facility, and I think Arbonne will be the way to support that and be able to give my family and my own kids and my own life a comfortable life where I don't have to worry about where I'm going to get my next payment or bills, or just be able to be happy and comfortable. And that's about it. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know that's not always the easiest thing to do. It's not easy for anybody, but thank you. And I think the biggest part is being vulnerable. You know, it's hard to be vulnerable, and I sometimes think we don't want to be vulnerable because we think that that shows weakness, and it's not weakness. People really appreciate when you're vulnerable, and they want to help you. That's probably the biggest thing. And like when I call people, I say, you know, I'm rebuilding my business. I'm just wondering if you'd be able to help me out by having a couple of girlfriends, you know, that sort of thing, because you're asking for their help. And if you're vulnerable, most likely they're going to be more apt to want to help you because there's a reason why you're doing this. And generally that's what kind people want to do, right? So thank you for sharing and for being vulnerable, because, you know, it's not always the easiest thing to say, you know, we struggle, or, you know, my parents struggled, my parents are still working. You know, a lot of people don't want to let people into their lives. And I think it's really important that you be honest with people and let people into your life and what's going on, so that, you know, they can help you, right? So thank you for sharing. So that's kind of all that I was going to cover with you. I'm going to send out this for everybody to follow. If you have any questions, ask me. If you can't figure out how to work your numbers, you can ask me as well. But this way, at least you'll know where you're at. And I think this week is really important to do goal setting and to figure out where you're at in your business and what you need to do, because your calendar most likely is full. I mean, keep working with your calendar and keep filling it. And then now we're going to work on the sponsoring aspect of it, bringing people into your business so you're leveraging your time. So it's not just you working. And that's something that I'm going to be able to help you with. And by watching this video too, it's really, really good. It's very powerful. And getting those feedback calls booked with your sponsoring at your regional vice president, your upline, is really going to be powerful for you to be doing this business with somebody else and leveraging your time. Does anybody else have any questions or anything else that they want to share that's going on in their business? You know, any wins or any funny stories or anything that you want to share? You can unmute yourself if you want, if you have something that you want to share, you know, about how this is going for you. Any feedback is always fabulous. You know, I appreciate that.
I have a question, Jacqueline.
Yes. Sure.
Can we take guests to the car presentations?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just wasn't sure, and I have actually a party on Saturday, and I wanted to invite her to Kaylee's car presentation next month, and I wasn't sure if we could take guests. So. Yes, we have. That is a really great place to take guests to see the total vision. Lots of people have started this business after they attend a car presentation because they can see the bigger picture, and that's so much of what it's about. We also have a paint and sip on the 17th in Calgary at the Mercedes-Benz dealership. That is huge to take guests. That's huge to take anybody. It's in Calgary, and that's a huge place to take people because they can see the whole vision of, you know, maybe one of these cars could be yours. There's, you know, a small Discover Arbonne there. They're going to learn some makeup application and tips. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also have one happening in High River on that Wednesday as well. So if you're close to there, go there. There's lots of them going on. If you need somewhere to take people, by all means, just ask, or just do a feedback call with them, you know, get somebody to help you with that, and they can get the information right there. Once you find the need, it's pretty easy to book the call. You know, you do these at your skincare presentation anywhere you are. Once you find the need, you just book the call, and then they can find a little bit more information about the business. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on for this week is our sponsoring and our goal setting, so that you do know where you are headed in this business. It's really important to declare it. It's really important to post your goals in 3 visible places and write it down every day and make sure that you stay on track. And I have to say, congratulations everybody for doing this. It's not always the easiest, right?
to commit yourself to being on these calls and commit yourself to your business. It holds you really accountable. And you should be, like I said, talking with your power partner, on a daily basis, cheering each other on, because that's going to make the huge difference, is having somebody you're accountable to. So thank you, everybody. Does anybody else have any questions or any feedback or anything else they want to share?
I can share my funny story from this morning.
Okay. Sure.
So I have never really engaged myself in self-development or anything like that. And in the last couple of months, I've been paying to be on the Brandon Barber coaching method. And it's bi-weekly, and it's been a huge I'll be a little vulnerable. It's been a huge help in my personal life more than my business, I would say. I tend to be a little bit of a personal basher. So if something happens bad or something happens to my business, I self-sabotage, as Jacqueline and I were talking about a few weeks ago. And I bash myself, and I say, I'm not good enough for this. And so this business has really helped. So I, for some reason, have quite the little knack built up for global business, better than people in my backyard. I don't know why. For some reason, it's something I'm good at. So I had 2 opportunity meetings over Facebook this morning with people in Taiwan. One girl did not speak English, at all. She told me she did, but she didn't. So I really mustered through it. It was kind of funny, and I was trying to get through it and be polite, but she didn't understand anything I was saying. So I was really trying to get her. But anyways, the reason I wanted to share this was, if I hadn't have done that self-development, I probably would have shut the world out and not kept pursuing to the next girl, or just said, you know what, this isn't my thing. They don't speak English very well, and kind of shut it out. So I wanted to share that, because that was a big moment for me, just to keep soldiering through. And I did send her a Mandarin DA, and she said it was amazing. So
you have no idea if it was amazing, but it was amazing.
It could have been the worst DA ever. I have no idea.
But and ask globally. I know Sherry has a really global business. I know there's some people on here from New Zealand. I can see Jackie on here, and so thank you so much for being on here. And I mean, that's not the easiest thing to do, but ask. Make sure you're asking everybody who they know in Taiwan and New Zealand, and you just never know, because most people, it's not like they just know somebody, it's because they've asked. I know with Lacey, she was there for 21 days in New Zealand. She just asked. It was through other people. It wasn't even through anybody she knew personally. So make sure, you're asking for these referrals to people, because we are going to be opening in November. So, building a global business is incredible, because when things here in your business maybe aren't going the best, they're going to be really rocking it out in New Zealand or wherever they are, because also our seasons are different too, right? So that makes it a little bit easier as well. So I'm going to send out the sheet of the things to do to write out your goals and make a plan for yourself. And this is something too, you can, I want you to go back and forth with your power partner. I want you to figure out your formula. And I want you to, by the end of the day, send it out to your power partner and say, this is where I'm headed, declare it. If you don't declare it, it's not going to happen. So you need to say, I am going to be doing first step area this month. This is what I need to do. This is how much more volume I need to do this month. This is how many more business builders I need. This is how many more parties I need. And I am going to do it. There is no stopping me. And same with anybody else. And I want you to really go for your bonus this month. Everyone, if you're a district manager, go for your district manager bonus. If you're an area manager, just go for it. Because you're leaving money on, you're leaving money out of your business if you're not. So that too. And I know October is going to be an incredible, incredible month. So I will speak with you guys again next Wednesday. And like I said, keep in touch with your power partner, and then you can kind of know how things are going. Does anybody else have anything they want to share before I let you go? No? Okie dokie. Well, hope everything is going awesome, and I will send this sheet out right now for you to watch the attached sponsoring video and to get working if you haven't already written out your goals. So have a fabulous day. See ya.
Thanks, Jacqueline.
Thank you.